From Washington, this is VOA News. Egyptian police killed in the Sinai Peninsula receive a hero's welcome. UN chemical team begins investigation in Syria. I'm Ray Kouguell reporting from Washington. The bodies of 24 Egyptian policemen ambushed and killed by suspected Islamist militants in the Sinai received a hero's welcome Monday night in Cairo. The attack occurred near the city of Rafa along the border with the Gaza Strip. VOA's Pessin reports.
The flag-draped coffins were carried by honor guards in a solemn ceremony broadcast live on numerous television channels. The mournful song repeats the word "for my country." The policemen were riding in buses when they were stopped and killed by armed men early Monday. The attackers are believed to be members of a militant Islamist militia of the kind critics say deposed President Mohammed Morsi allowed to flourish in the Sinai. The army deposed Morsi last month, backed by large-scale public demonstrations, and forcibly ended weeks of sit-in protests by his supporters last Wednesday. Pessin, VOA News, Cairo.
A lawyer for former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak says his client will soon be released. Farid El-Deeb says a court has cleared Mr. Mubarak of charges that he and his sons stole public money for presidential palaces. Judicial sources have not confirmed the claim. The 85-year-old Mr. Mubarak still faces a retrial on charges he failed to stop the killing of protesters during the popular revolt that swept him from power in 2011. A team of UN experts started work Monday in Syria, investigating whether chemical weapons were used in at least 3 locations during the country's civil war. Secretary General Ban Ki-moon established the group of scientific experts from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons and the World Health Organization.
This is the first proof of allegations of use of weapons of mass destruction in the 21st century. I firmly believe that an effective mechanism to investigate allegations of the possible use of chemical weapons will help deter their future use.
Mr. Bond says the team will conduct its activities for up to 14 days and could be extended upon mutual agreement between the UN and Syrian government. The mission will try to determine only whether the weapons were used, not who used them. A top advisor to Iran's supreme leader says Tehran will never again suspend its nuclear activities, but that it will tone down its rhetoric. Ali Akbar Veliati, who advises Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on nuclear and other important issues, told the Associated Press the election of Hassan Rouhani as Iran's new president opens up new possibilities for better communication with the West. The United States and Chinese defense chiefs met in Washington Monday, with both pledging to strengthen military cooperation. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said Washington is committed to a positive and constructive relationship with China and that the military contacts between the two countries play a key role. His counterpart, General Chang Wan-Swan, said Beijing wants to work on a defense relationship with the U.S. based on mutual trust, not mutual suspicion. Flooding in parts of China has left more than 100 people dead and more than 100 others missing. The state-run news agency Xinhua says several days of heavy rain in the northeast has led to flooding described as the worst in decades. South African Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius was formally indicted Monday for murder in the shooting death of his girlfriend. VOA's Anita Powell has details.
Oscar Pistorius walked into the Pretoria courtroom with his head bowed, his face tight. He linked hands with his brother Carl and sister Amy. The three prayed fervently for several minutes, seemingly oblivious to the heaving media scrum around them as cameras snapped and flashed madly. But then it was time to face the music. On Monday, the court officially charged the double amputee with murder and scheduled his trial for March 3rd through March 20th. The indictment also charges him with unlawful possession of a firearm after investigators found unlicensed ammunition at his home. The trial will examine what happened the night of February 14th, when Pistorius shot dead his girlfriend, model Rafa Steenkamp, at his upscale Pretoria home. Anita Powell, VOA News, Pretoria, South Africa.
The prosecution accuses Pistorius of premeditated murder. Pistorius says he mistook his girlfriend for an intruder and did not mean to shoot her 4 times through a locked bathroom door. I'm Ray Kouguell, VOA News. More on the internet at voanews.com.